What on earth is that? It's a Journey into Comics Network production! All aboard!
I brought my pencil.
What do you wanna do with your life? Walk on home, boy. Yeah. Like anything gets to say like you did before. Make it ring, make it bleed, make it really.
What's up, Duderinos, and welcome to another episode of Rank 'Em All, the collaborative podcast where a couple dudes sit down and we rank them. We rank all the songs, which gives us the album ranks of some of our favorite bands and artists. Today we are wrapping up Metallica into a nice little bow. We are hitting up with S&M2, and of course this is kind of the finale episode. We decided to hold off some of the like big reveals of like, because if you've been following along, you've been doing the math, you already know. But I mean, who does that when you're listening to a damn podcast, man? You guys are just chilling out, hanging out. This is us. We're going to be going over some of the info we got, and some of the stuff may even come back to surprise some of us, and we got some other cool stuff to go along the way. But before we go any further, we got to go with introductions. I'm one of your rank masters, Brando, and of course, joining me as always is the Podfather, Nate Phillips.
What? How are you guys doing, man? We are here. We not only made it to the end of the Metallica discography for now.
Mm-hmm.
For now is important
For
to
now.
say, for now. Because we will have a revisited, I'm sure, at some point, which is going to be a very interesting, different kind of episode. I digress. The cool thing is we also made it to 2021. We started this project in the middle of 2020, the shit sandwich that it was.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are on the other side, guys. And we could not be doing this show if we didn't have another one of our amazing rank masters. You guys know him and love him. Brews with Dudes, Dungeons with Dudes, everything Doom Room related. The Super Doom Room World Master, the one and only Nick Maxon. What's up, bro?
That was the best intro I've ever had. Ever. Thank you for that. It's good to be here.
Yeah.
Excited to be at the end of this journey. This journey we started.
Yeah,
Been
absolutely.
a fun trip.
Absolutely. It's been a great ride, and it's been awesome to look back and actually sit down. Because I listened to the discography. I mean, I listen to it all the damn time when it comes up randomly and all that stuff. But to sit down and dive deep into it, it can change your perspective. It forces you to be critical. Of course, there's certain things that you're just privy, that I lean this way. I like this song, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not sure why. It just tickles me in ways that if my wife were to took me that way, I'd be having a very good night. However, there's other songs where I'm just like, you know what? When I was a kid, I thought this song was the shit, but man, I don't know. Right now, I'm just not feeling it. And oh yeah, by the way, Dick's here, one and only podcaster.
Hey guys.
Oh, by the way, Dick's here under the bus. Whoa, oh shit! A
Oh
bus trip.
no! Don't
Oh,
stop.
Take a drink. It's too early. It's too
Damn.
early.
Damn.
That was a Freudian slip. I didn't mean to throw that one out there.
Oh man!
That's a better intro than the one I got. And mine was pretty good.
Yeah, no, like the four of us started this trek. It was a cool idea that started, honestly, a year ago. This whole idea started when we first came up with the concept of listening to Lulu while being in an elevated state. And we did that. You can go back into the archives on journeyintocomics.com and find Hide Time. We listened to this.
Should
Lulu.
be in the specials section or like feature. I don't remember what the fuck it's called, but yeah, it's in its own category. Easy to find.
It was about a year ago. It was like a Christmas special that we did, and it was the four of us, and we sat down. None of us had ever sat down level-headed and listened to the entire album. Like, we've heard The View and maybe another one. That was it. And so that was a journey. We decided not to rank that thing because none of us want to re-listen to it.
No.
At one point, I think we fell into a time loop, which honestly may have resulted in us having the year that we had. And I think it was all our fault. We were...
And now that you say something.
Because it just felt like we were trapped in the song and couldn't get out of it. It was just...
It felt like multiple days went by.
I know.
God.
But No, that was the genesis because I said that would be really cool, like because it was actually Dick's idea. Hey, I want to like, listen to some stuff, and he wanted to do Master of Puppets, and I'm like he wants to like revisit it and maybe like review it, and I'm like, well, how cool would it be if you did like a whole band discography? Because every once in a while, when I have nothing to listen to, I'll pick a band. Whether I've done it with Disturbed, I've done it with Metallica and Megadeth, I've done it with Ozzy, where you start at the very beginning, and you just roll. You don't hit back. You don't listen to a song again. You just roll right through because you get to hear songs you never heard. You get to hear, songs you may have forgotten, and you also get to hear the growth of them as a band, them as an artist, and everything that kind of comes with that, good or bad, because you might have a good or bad album track or ideas or whatever. Bands take risks sometimes, and sometimes it pays off, and sometimes it doesn't. I haven't done it with AC/DC, which would be really interesting because they have a sort of track record of kind of sounding the same. However, if you go to like songs from Ballbreaker, it doesn't sound the same. It sounds different. And Ballbreaker was produced by Rick Rubin, and it has a little bit of a different flavor to it, and it didn't really work for them, so they kind of went back to the other. But it's interesting. And
was it overcompressed and like super loud and blew out speakers?
I don't think so.
Let's check the waveform of Ballbreaker.
I don't want to right now. Anyway, today, guys, we're going to be looking at some S&M2. Of course, that is the most recent release from the band. We actually did do an unboxing, but just for shits and giggles here, I did bring my box. I got the box right here.
That's a sexy box.
It is.
Yeah.
It's really nice, and I believe this was like $115 on Amazon, and so you get the little CD and like a little digipack. Very, very, very simple with that. But one thing that I thought was cool, they include some printed sheet music for the All Within My Hands thing, for the version that they do for that song. And no, Nate, I think you cracked these open in your unboxing, but there are picks.
Yeah, they're really cool.
And then a big ass poster, which I'm not going to undo here. I don't have that much room. This was really neat. A sort of big picture book and
Brandon,
whatnot.
I can only get so erect.
Well, prepare to get more erect. I don't have the Blu-ray in here, guys, so that's out there with my other Muzak stuff that's in the entertainment center, along with my cunning stunts and whatnot. But this is the vinyl, and it is a thick boy.
Oh, that's awesome.
I felt like an explosion.
Yeah, right. But one thing that I really liked about this set, of course, the color scheme is kind of like an orange, like the cello exploding on the thing, with kind of like a half and half here. Yeah, it's a pretty cool set for $115 to get everything that's included: the CD, vinyl, and Blu-ray. I was gonna buy the album anyway. I wanted the vinyl anyway. I think the vinyl by itself was close to like, I don't know, $50.
70.
Was it? Yeah. So if you're already spending $70 on the vinyl,
Might as well go double.
why not? Well, no, it is 115, not 150.
Oh, sorry, I misheard.
So like it was only like 30, $40 more just to get everything. So like I couldn't say no to that. And I also couldn't have been happier to see this show up in the mail. Oddly enough, this is the first Metallica album in some form to be played on PBS.
Yeah, that's
a few months ago, back in November, they had a special where I think it was like an hour and a half long special where they played some songs. It wasn't the whole concert because the whole concert's like 2.5 hours. But it was kind of neat. Like I'm now like, are they now old? Are they now classic rock? Or have they gone oldies? I'm not sure. But it was really neat. I tuned in just to see, hey, be a part of history. But that was the S&M2 album collection box set there. Now, for the songs, guys, what they did is that they decided to take like 10 songs that were done on the original to pay tribute to Michael Kamen, who passed away, and to honor that original set. And then they decided to pick songs that came out after that. So all the songs that were added were all done after, and they could have some of the songs on here like left me scratching my head a little bit as to why they did it, but especially when you could have put other songs into like from prior in their discography. If you go check out the YouTuber Ben Zimmerman, he has been doing and taking live tracks of Metallica which are easily available because Metallica makes all their shit available.
Oh yeah,
for live stuff, and he's been arranging different songs that haven't been done yet. Songs like Creeping Death, like Welcome Home Sanitarium, like Frantic, like Fight Fire with Fire, like To Live Is to Die, like Orion, The Unforgiven, and Fade to Black. And I don't know if you guys can hear, but apparently my youngest one's not too happy that these songs have not been included so far in the set.
Hey, it's really a fucking a dagger in the heart that they haven't done that.
Well, and what I hope is that, you know, it took them 20 years to kind of come back to the concept. They didn't have to do this again, because typically when you have like a gimmick like this, it's done once and it was like, hey, that was fun. But they decided to revisit the concept. And it's cool because some of the songs they did choose are badass versions of the song. And they even decided to mess with the formula a bit with a couple of the songs and not do them in just the traditional what they had done before. And we'll definitely get to that here. But we're just going to dive right into this and kind of get into it because some of these songs we've heard before, some of the songs we've ranked before. So we're going to get through it. If you have anything to say, go ahead and say it and just give me a rank if you listen to it. If you want to just say same as last time, that's cool too. But they opened up with the symphony playing Ecstasy of Gold. Okay, cool. That's awesome as always. You're always going to get a big pop for me out of that. Then they started it off once again with the Call of Ktulu, bringing that back out of the woodwork, dusting that baby off. Now you could have picked To Live Is to Die or Orion or something like that, but they decided to bring this back because if you go back to our original S&M, we all ranked this high as shit. Whereas the original
also won an award.
Yeah. I believe Call of Ktulu won Best Metal Performance for S&M or whatever, Grammy or whatever. But on the original album, we all liked it, and we all ranked it pretty high. But the S&M version just took it overload for us. We were like, yeah, no, it inches it maybe a little bit higher. And so I was wondering if you guys felt the same, and we'll go ahead and start with Nick on that.
I remember it being pretty much as good as the last time. It didn't blow me out of the water even further.
Yeah.
I've already been blown out of the water by this song 2 times now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would probably say it's about the same. Maybe I don't even like it as much as. But I don't know, because I remember the solo fucking just shrieking. It's so good. So
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's fucking amazing. It's still one of the best.
All right, so I'll just put you down for the same rank. And Dick, you got anything to say about it? Samesies? All right. Samesies for you. So, Nick, you rated it on the S&M a 9.25, and Blaine, you ranked it a 9. How about you, Nate?
So I do have a little bit of notes for all the songs because I tried to pick out not like multiple lines of text, just like one phrase of things that each song gave me.
Tell me, how angular is this album?
Well, I don't know. We're not going to talk about angles today, Dick. We're going to talk about something a little bit different because for me, Call of Ktulu in this version specifically, and this is one of the few times you'll actually hear me say this, for S&M2, in my opinion, this performance is better because of one instrument. Everything else is mostly the same, like the guys have said. It all is the samesies. But this time I was listening through my phone and headphones, not the Zune device this time, because I don't have it on the Zune yet, you guys. It's too new.
It's too new. Okay.
Anyways, so train of thought here. The xylophones in Call of Ktulu on this version are amazing. They do some runs in the middle of like the song itself that are so incredibly done, especially as someone who that was one of the first instruments I learned. it's very technical shit they're pulling off here, and I loved it. So I bumped this to a 10 for me.
Awesome.
In the other version, I gave it a 9.75. So yeah.
Awesome. And also, I will be posting all the scores that we've had individually. Of course, by the time you're hearing this, you all know this. But and Nick, I remember you said that you wanted to have copies of everything as well, and I'll give that to you. I gave it a 10 as well because it was the same as before. What's different is on the original one, they follow it up with Master of Puppets. They hit you with another long, fast epic. And this time they don't. They switch it up with For Whom the Bell Tolls, which still works. It's from the same album, Ride the Lightning. And I just have got to say, I have probably heard this version now more than the original or the original S&M, because when my oldest son, he's like 5.5 now, anytime he wants to listen to Metallica, this is where he wants to start. From the Bell Tolls, from
Good
S&M2,
kid.
exact. He wants this version. I don't know why. Because then, like a few songs in, he goes, "Okay, I want the studio version." All right, but here's the deal. Sometimes if I throw something weird at him, like a B-side from Load, or even from Justice, he's like, "How long is this, Dad?" Like, oh, I mean, we still got like 6 minutes. Oh, it's long. Well, so like with him being so young and him just kind of getting into the band, I suffer through it because it's like, I'm enjoying that he's into it. But honestly, again, this is kind of the same. It's got good energy, and on the video, this is one of the ones they released as a single. I think Nate was.
Yes, it was the first of the singles.
Okay.
Oh no, All Within My Hands was the first. No, the same day, right? No, the same day was Nothing Else Matters and All Within My Hands, and then they did later release From the Bell Tolls right before the Blu-ray came out.
Yeah, and they did like a whole bunch of different camera angles, and they put multiple angles on the same screen. It was really neat. But yeah, we'll go ahead and start with Nate this time. What'd you think, bud?
For Whom the Bell Tolls, I consistently kept it at a 10 from the last time. I thought it was just as good as the last performance.
Okay, awesome. And Dick?
I thought it was the same as well. I mostly tried to hone in and focus on the newer songs and
Right.
some of my favorites from the previous S&M, see if anything changed. This was not, I mean, it's a favorite song, of course, and it's an epic song, but it's like, it doesn't stand out to me in terms of like against like No Leaf Clover in terms of performance. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it the same.
All right, and you, Nick? About the same?
And Dad, no.
All
Wasn't
right.
worse. It wasn't worse.
All right. So then, but the next song is brand new to the S&M world. The Day That Never Comes from Death Magnetic. This song ranked pretty high for us. A damn near perfect score. Wink, wink. A little bit spoiler for maybe a little bit later. Really high for us. Day That Never Comes. They started off with the symphony playing the intro completely, which is kind of cool, and it kind of gives you vibes of what they did with No Leaf Clover and Minus Human back on the original. Then the band comes in. I love this song originally. To hear this song get picked, I think it's an awesome song for this vibe. And yeah, I think it's awesome. I gave it almost the same score as I gave the original song. I gave it a 10. So we'll start with Dick this time. I know you love this song, Dick.
Oh
What'd you
yeah,
think?
this is easily one of my all-time favorite Metallica songs. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 9 because it's still really good. But given that this is more performance than show,
Yeah.
You got a lot more raw. Everything's raw, everything's right there in the moment, and James's voice is kind of really raspy and giving out at times throughout this concert or the next day's concert, whichever one they decided to use for the album. So like you hear his voice kind of give out here and there, but overall excellent.
All right, and Nick.
I thought it was still awesome. Probably not as good as the original.
Okay.
I like the original more, so I think I gave it a 10.
Yeah.
Or close to it. So I'd probably get like a 9.75. Like it's still good, but
Yeah.
it didn't tug at my heart quite like the studio version did.
All right, Nate. Now you and I saw this concert in theaters when it first came out.
Yeah.
We got to share this experience together. We didn't know the set list, so the fact that they switched it up with Humi, And then after this, I mean, both you and me popped when they started the intro.
Absolutely.
And so, what do you got to say about this version of Day?
Honestly, I rank it the exact same as the album version.
Okay.
And I do that mainly because the orchestra does sit back for a majority. Like, it accents nicely when we need it to. But, and this is what I have in the notes, vocally, I think James slays it in a majority of the song. There are parts where he's weak. Also, I think that the orchestra hits that are happening during the solo are so fucking good. There's a certain way that it lands in the pocket with those hits that just blows me away. But yes, I think the song is really great.
All right. And so that for your rank, that would be a 9.25. The next song was The Memory Remains, which is also on the original. But I got to say, for whatever reason, when I first heard this, I like it on the original, and it's pretty awesome. But the energy here on this one is higher.
Yeah.
I agree.
And it's so weird that this is the song where you could have had any song like Creeping Death or anything like that, where you get the fist pumping and the crowd singing along. They instead don't go as hardcore with it, and they kind of dial it back into that load era, and they get people vibing. And instead of headbanging, they're vibing and they're singing along. They're doing the old lady singing. And so I ranked it a little bit higher. I ranked the original on S&M an 8. I gave this an 8.75. I'll shoot it over to Nick first. What'd you think about this version? Was it better than the original on S&M, or?
I think I like it more than the original S&Ms. Yeah, like you said, like I remember, I like the energy of this one. This is the one that they came out like, let's see, what did they say? Was it like, let's show them how loud you can be or something?
Yeah.
Show the symphony how loud you can get.
So
interesting.
Nick, on the original,
flex, but still good, still awesome.
On the original S&M, you ranked it a 9.25.
I liked it. I liked it quite a lot.
So are you going to give it a higher rank here, or?
9.5. Let's bump it up.
Bump it up just a little bit. How about you, Dick?
Oh, I love this version a lot more than the original because, again, like you both have said, and probably Nate is going to say as well, the energy is just there. And just hearing the crowd at the end of the song just keep going and going and going, and just Lars just drumming along with it, and Kirk going in the background, and just everything is just lining up so perfectly just to keep that crowd involved and continuing that chant. And it's just beautiful. So I don't remember what my original rank was.
I just took a picture of the entire rank for the original S&M and sent it as a picture to you guys once it loads in. You gave the original on Memory Remains an 8.5.
8.5. Let's bump it up to a 9.5.
9.5. Wow. Boom. Bump it. How about you, Nate? Are you going to bump it?
I can't bump it because I was bumped to the top on this song. I already gave it a fucking 10. You won't give me the 11.
I won't.
You won't just let us fucking Spinal Tap this shit and just bump it up a little extra, which we're going to have a real argument about later with another song on this album, because by force it deserves a much higher score than 10. But I digress. For Memory Remains, I thought the crowd killed it. You guys said everything I was going to possibly say. It's still a 10. All
right. The next song, Confusion, from Hardwired to Self-Destruct. I mentioned on the last episode that every time that I go to listen to this song, I always think I don't like it, but by the end of it, I'm always like at least bobbing my head and singing along with the chorus. And when I really noticed that, honestly, was when I heard this version, because I think we took a drive. We were all in the car somewhere, and my boy wanted to listen to From the Bell Tolls, and I didn't put it on random. We're listening to S&M2. That's what we're doing. We're just going to listen to the whole thing. So it went to Memory Remains, Day, and Memory Remains after that, and then Confusion. I'm like, oh, I forgot Confusion was on here. Man, why'd they pick this song? And by the end of it, I was like, you know what? It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It's cool. Again, just to reiterate what I said before, I like the subject matter. It's not the best song in the world by far, but they could have picked another song here, and I wouldn't have been upset. But to rank this song, I gave it the same rank as I did the album. It's an 8. I don't think the symphony improves it any. unfortunately. So on that front, I'll pass it over to Dick. What'd you think?
I like to echo that sentiment of, yeah, I would have much rather had anything else. I mean, just not anything. But if we were to even if we were just gonna stay in the realm of Hardwired, put another song from Hardwired, put Atlas Rise in there, or Atlas Rise, sorry, or
good.
Let's see, Atlas Rise. They did Moth into Flame. Spoiler. Spit Out the Bone. A huge hit off that album. Throw Spit Out the Bone instead of Confusion. But I mean, for what it is, it's not bad.
No.
It's not bad, and it's there.
It's not bad.
Bad. You're drinking if you got 2 drinks on that one.
God damn it.
All right.
You did it.
All right. So what'd you give this one as a rank?
Um,
Do you think it's better than the album version, or is it about the same? Or
I'm gonna go ahead and throw a samey because.
All right. So you gave it a 6.5 on the album. And,
Same.
All right. What about you, Nate?
Okay, so let's bring up the notes here because I actually got something here. Yeah, I think the timpani hits with Lars in the intro is fucking awesome. I also think that the symphony, honestly, in this song adds so much depth. It almost is a situation where, you know how we had Minus Human and we had No Leaf Clover that were exclusive to S&M2.
Mm-hmm.
This song, Confusion, almost could have been taken off Hardwire and just become an exclusive song to S&M2, and it would have punched even harder for people. Because I think it's so well done with the symphony. It just adds such a depth. Makes me really love the version, and I actually bumped it up to a 9.5.
Wow.
Yes, I really, really like that version. I think the symphony does it for me. It's not necessarily about the song itself, because I even ranked the song like an 8.5 or so.
You gave it a 7.5.
7.5. Yeah. So I bumped it up quite a bit.
Up 2 whole bumps for you.
Rank up, folks. Nick is taken back.
Giant bumps, man.
Giant bumps. What about you, Nick? What do you got to say?
I've got nothing to say about it.
Nothing to say?
I liked it with the symphony added, but it wasn't one of my favorite songs off the album anyway, so it was okay. The symphony doesn't, I don't think I'll say for any single song that it detracts. It's never a bad thing, but it doesn't. There's no fade to black on this, so no fade to black, but there is confusion. I've got confusion about that choice. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, nice.
So you're just gonna slap the same rank as the album?
Slap it on there.
All right. So you gave it a 5.25. Then we have Moth into Flame, another track from Hardwired, and it's a track that I really dig off of Hardwired. It gives me, we've already said before, it gives us kind of like that weird Justice vibes, or mix between Justice. It's like halfway point Justice and Black Album kind of feel, with some really cool like Four Horsemen vibe to it a little bit. But after seeing this song live, in person, it made me like the song even more than what I liked it before. And I think they kill it here as well. And so I gave this song a fucking 10. I don't care. I think it's badass. I think it rips. And that's where I stand. That's it. Dude.
I don't fucking care.
Yeah. Well, and see, when I was ranking,
you get a 10 and you get.
When I was ranking the album, I specifically had. Can you guys hear that?
Just a little bit.
Oh man.
Blew you away.
I miss.
Are you going to give it a 10?
I miss podcasting in the back, guys. I miss podcasting in the back. I'm just sorry, guys. I got kids. I got a 5-year-old, and
he got kids.
And I got a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old, and my 5-year-old decides to throw epic tantrums.
They will.
And so
I got a 9-year-old.
All right.
So
if you hear screaming in the background, please note we're not torturing him. We're not hurting him.
Well, we know you aren't.
No, I know.
Yeah, you got a great alibi. You're on video.
Yeah, I'm on video.
Absolutely.
I ain't doing nothing. Anyways, no, I dig this version of Moth into Flame. When I was ranking the album version, it was a struggle because I wanted to give it a 10 there, but I felt like it was the live version that sold me on the song, other than like more so than the original. So therefore, I'm gonna pass it over to Nick.
I really like the original. I really like this one. I'm gonna give it a little less than the original though.
Okay.
Just a little, just a quarter, a 0.25er.
No, so you're gonna slap an 8 on there?
Just slap an 8 on there. It was good though. It was really good. I really liked it. I thought the symphony added to it. But just I like the original. I like I don't know.
It's tight. It's really
tight.
See, yeah, like I do agree with you, but I also think that if you're gonna pick songs post S&M to put on here, like this one almost has to be on there. Like from that, like same with Day That Never Comes. If they wouldn't have done Day That Never Comes,
oh yeah,
it would have been a travesty. Like it would have been like I would have been even more confused than when they put Confusion.
It would have been about as confusing as not putting Fade to Black on there.
Yes, exactly. What about you, Nate? I'll go to Nate next.
Moth into Flame. The brass section is brilliantly executed. Also, flutes. You guys, the flutes are killer. And this song, I don't know how to express that to you. I loved them. I gave the song a 10, which is only a 0.75 improvement from. But again, I think the symphony adds to every song for the most part.
What about you, Dick?
I love the original.
Mm-hmm.
I love this version. I view them very differently because I get very different feelings from both versions. I mean, the original, it's just kick-ass song. This one, it feels more fun to me. Like I'm bobbing around more with it.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. If I were Mr. Tyler McLaughlin, you'd
be beat bopping along.
Down the sidewalk with my AirPods in, not my Zune, and I just.
You could probably connect some AirPods to his Zune if you tried hard enough.
Oh shit! Yeah, you can.
Bluetooth? Is Zune Bluetooth?
I think so. I think it does have Bluetooth capability.
Have they invented Bluetooth back then? Way back.
Yeah, it also had a fucking radio in it.
On when the Zune came out, like this has got Bluetooth, and you're like, oh. Now you can get Bluetooth on your fridge. It's like.
So I would like to actually score this differently. I don't remember what my original score for Moth into Flame is, but it doesn't matter because to me, this version is just, despite being the same, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It gives me a different feeling, so I'm going to score it differently. I don't like it as much as the original.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go with an 8.5.
All right. There we go. The next song is The Outlaw Torn. It was on the original. And when I first heard it in the theater, I was a little disappointed that they went with Outlaw Torn. Not because I don't like the song, but because I know how long the song is. And and it's just sitting there in the theater. The theater we were in was in Wabash Landing. It's not the most comfortable seats. If we were in Eastside 9, or Eastside 10, I wouldn't care. I would have been reclined back, been having a good old time. But no, watching it reminded me how much I love the song. Like, Outlaw Torn is their big epic of the Load eras. And I know we've said that here before, but that's just kind of my take on it. Like they dusted that thing off once again, just like Call of Ktulu, one of those big long songs they haven't played in probably since S&M2. And
Jeez.
They're like, hey, we're gonna dust this thing back off, man. We're gonna go down that long and lonely road of the Outlaw Torn. And I love it, dude. I gave this song a 10 as well. It's awesome. And I'll shoot it over to Nate.
Oh yeah. Outlaw Torn. Awesome. I loved it. The orchestration has been improved. Don't know how I can say it any other way. I gave the song a 10 on S&M. I'm just going to be honest. If I could right now, this would get a 10.50. That is technically my rank. I know you can't give me a 10.50, but give me a 10 again, damn it, because I love this fucking version. I think it kills. It's one of my favorite tunes. 10 plus. Yep.
Remastered HD edition.
What about you, Nick?
I liked it about the same. I don't really have a whole lot to add to it.
All right, and you gave the original. Where are we at here? Where's that? Outlaw Torn. You gave it a 6. You gave it a 6. You didn't like this song.
Not a lot.
No,
It's not 4.
Narrative. It's not a 4.
It's not a no.
It's not a no. It's not a no. It's nowhere near a no.
All right. What about you, Dick? Is it a no?
So, no, it's not a no. When listening to this, I had to listen through Apple Music, which required signal or Wi-Fi at all times. And for some reason, every time I went this was next in line, it would get skipped because I didn't have enough signal, and it would just load the next song that did have signal, I guess, or that was loaded. I don't know. I don't know, because Apple Music, when you don't have signal, it'll skip songs. Because I remember I was listening to this CD, and all of a sudden it's Wherever I May Roam, just out of the blue. I skipped half the album. I'm like, what is going on here? But the few times I did get to listen to Outlaw Torn, it just didn't hold the same feeling that the original had for me, I guess. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna have to go with a little bit lower. I gave it a 9. Let's go with a 7.5.
All right. The next song, No Leaf Clover, was from the debuted and exclusive to the original S&M. They busted it back out here as a bring forward, just like Outlaw Torn and some of these other songs. But I gotta be honest with you guys, I don't think this hits as much, and I know there's a reason why. And that's because on the original S&M, this is one of the few songs that actually went back and they touched up in the studio. So, it's got the symphony, it's live, but they went and they tweaked. And they tweaked his vocals, they tweaked the performance of it to make it more polished. Because this was going to be a single, and they wanted it to be able... Because live, there's stuff that goes wrong. There's stuff here and there. But this S&M2 is more about performance. It was more about the live aspect. And I think that the flaws of the song kind of show through just a little bit. I don't get the same feeling as much. I still think the song kicks. So don't get me wrong. I'm just giving a little bit of criticism because I gave the song a 10 last time, and I'm just docking it to 9.5. So, Nick, we'll start with you.
I'm gonna shoot mine down a whole point. I don't know. It's just something in my brain. Just I guess I've listened to the other version so much, and that's the original, and this just it couldn't overcome it. Still great, but yeah, you're probably right. The fact that they didn't spend as much time tweaking it, I like the tweaked version.
What about you, Dick?
So last time this was a unanimous 10.
Yes.
I feel like this is going to be unanimously not a 10 this time. Because, obviously, you guys have already scored it. But, again, it just... Shut up, guys.
You're not supposed to play the drinking game with the audience, Dick.
So, yeah, it's just not all there. Considering it's 100% performance, James's voice going out here and there. It's not a full go out. It's just rasp where it shouldn't be. The rasp that should not be. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give this an 8.
Okay, and Nate.
All right, so we're going to unanimously decide that this is getting docked in points. That's what we're all agreeing on here, because it is getting docked in points for me, and here's my big complaint. Vocal melody in the chorus sucks a fat one. It is not good. When he tries to be and be, it's so terrible, dude. It's like he's squeaking it out. And in the original version, he goes low in that note. Stick in your pocket, dude, and just stick with what you're good at. If he would have done that, it would have made the song for me, because it would have had touches of the original while still being a true performance. But when he tweaked his voice in that way to try to make it a different sound.
Does he do that in every single chorus or just the final chorus?
Every chorus.
Okay.
And that's what bothers me.
In the final chorus.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it was in the original.
But this is only getting a 9 for me, because that's my big takeaway is that that vocal thing bothers me.
9.
So the next song is the closing of the first set in disc 1, I guess, of the CD or however you're listening to. And they closed with Halo on Fire. Last time they closed with Bleeding Me. Halo on Fire was from Hardwired to Self-Destruct. That was the last song on the first disc of Hardwired. And we gushed pretty good about that song on Hardwired. And my same sentiments carry forward here. I think it fits very well with the symphony. I like the energy of it. The stuff that we said on the other episode still holds valid here, and I do agree that it's not the best writing lyrically from James, but it's just, I don't know, this song has energy, and I really like that. It's got a different flow. The end of the song, as I believe I said on the last episode, was like the anti-Fade to Black, where instead of feeling like ending with a jam on dread, it's like a jam on hope or whatever. It's a little bit more joyful. It's weird to say in metal that joyful sounds cool. But on the rare occasion when you hear a band that normally plays in minor keys, putting something in a major key and making it still sound badass, that's a hell of a feat for metal. So I gave this song a 10, just like on the original album, and we're going to shoot it over to Dick first.
I liked it. Again, James really sounds like he's pushing on this in parts of this song.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say anything more about it. We gushed about it on Hardwired, so I'm going to give it a 9.
All right. And Nate.
Okay, so this is getting docked big O time for me. And it's not Metallica's fault. It's somebody in the symphony's fault. I am really paying close attention when I'm listening, and this is one of those songs that when I heard it with Brando the first time, I don't think I caught it. Once the Blu-ray and everything came out and I was listening to it, once I heard the fuck up, I can't not hear it, and now it drives me utterly bonkers. So, chorus, turn off the lights, da 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 da. That's the pattern, right? And that should be what the horn does. The horn is supposed to follow the crowd, but for some reason, the horn waits until after the crowd is starting singing and then just goes, and it sounds really shit ass. It doesn't work. It sounds bad.
I hear that. I need to hear that.
Go listen to it. It will bother your ears because it's easy
I'm
to
doing
follow. I know, but when you can. And he doesn't do it just once. He does it twice, which really is what really just drives me.
How unprofessional.
It is, man. I mean, just listen to how the band does the song, because the crowd is in the pocket with what they're doing musically, and all you had to do is just follow them, and it would have been perfect. And he delays thinking he has to wait for the crowd to respond, and they're on top of the song, and it's very noticeable. It bothered me greatly. I'm only giving this song a 9 now, and I gave it a 9.5 in the original.
So considering that this song, that all these arrangements are done by the conductors and that they are basically playing what the sheet of paper in front of them. So that dude he's not waiting to play until he hears the crowd. He's waiting to play until the spot on the paper says, you play here.
Well, it's a shitty decision regardless.
No.
That decision was made. It's a bad decision.
I'm just saying, like,
F+.
Like, don't blame the dude that's sitting there with the horn going da-da-da-da, because he's going to hear this episode and go, guys, I played what they told me to play.
He's gonna hear this.
He will.
That's true. I'm sorry, horn guy.
Michael Kamen wouldn't have made that decision.
He might. Maestro Michael, man. I love Michael Kamen. Anyway, Nick, on to you. Halo on Fire. Same.
I got nothing.
Got nothing.
Good, but it's about the same as it for me.
All right, I'll slap a 7.5 on there. The next two songs on the start the next one. This is where they deviate. The first half. What?
I was going to say we're at intermission, and I had a thought.
What? Oh, do you want to do some of the
numbers that we missed? Because, we did this thing starting at load, and I can quickly go through it. I've already got all the numbers, so I can
that's right. We were going to do that. We were going to go back to Kill 'Em All. I forgot about that. Thank you so much for reminding me of that, because I was just going to power on through to get done with this. So here at intermission, guys, we're going to go through. You guys can go, Nick and Dick, if you need to go and take a leak, get another drink, by all means go, because we're going to go back to Kill 'Em All through the Black Album, and we're going to go and tell really quickly how many times each song has been played, because we did not. Dick, what are you holding up? It's invisible. You're drinking invisible shit.
Damn it. I figured it'd be cool to throw the Podcast Fee logo right in front of my camera while I'm empty and not here.
Oh, okay, there you go.
While I'm emptying the tank.
We can see it. Go.
You're so gross.
I'm sorry.
Like, it really do be like that, though.
Okay, Nate, hit us up. Kill 'em all. Let's get it going.
Let's go. 10 in a row. Here we go. Hit the Lights has been performed 221 times. Four Horsemen has been performed 547 times. There's a number on here that blew my mind when I saw it, by the way. Motor Breath has been performed 313 times. Jump in the Fire.
Damn.
Only 91 times.
Oh, Jump of the Fire is a bit low. I do remember. I'm going to interject here really quick on that. I
Sure.
remember hearing in their interview with Kirk, and they're like, "What song do you really like playing on this tour?" He goes, "Actually, we brought back Jump of the Fire, and we changed the key to F or G or whatever, and it's really cool, and I like it." And I'm like, that's such a musician thing to say, Kirk. Anyway, carry on.
It definitely is. All right. To Anesthesia, Pulling Teeth, 125 live performances. We've got Whiplash at 892.
God!
Phantom Lord. Yeah, that's a lot. That's not the shocking number, though. Phantom Lord at 157. No Remorse at 231. Seek and Destroy. 1,573 live performances. Metal Militia, 86. And that wraps it for Kill 'Em All. We'll move on to Ride the Lightning now. Again, going track order. Only 8 boys on this one, so a little bit easier to blow through. We got Fight Fire with Fire that's been performed 336 times. Ride the Lightning, 1 calendar year worth of performances at 365. For Whom the Bell Tolls, Time Marches On. They need to get 1 more performance to get it away from a very, very dirty number that is currently sitting at 1488. For those of you history buffs and know anything about World War II, you'll totally go, oh, yikes, that's fucked up. Fade to Black, 1177. We've got Trapped Under Ice at 21 live performances. Oh, robot time.
Wait, hold on. Trapped Under Ice, how many times?
21.
22 should have been the Antarctica show.
I 100% agree. Escape.
Once.
Just once.
James didn't even want to play it the one time they played it. He tried to get out of it. Anyway.
Creeping Death, 1527, and Call of Cthulhu with 84 performances live.
All right, on to Master of Puppets.
Swiftly, we got Battery at 943. Master of Puppets, which I think is the record for most performances for a song by Metallica, at 1,647.
Jeez.
So it's like pretty much every show since they did Master of Puppets, I would think. They probably have played it.
And remember, during the Load era, they didn't play the full song, and it still constituted as a play. They would play it until like the middle part, and then they would go into something else.
That is true. We got The Thing That Should Not Be at 265 live performances. Sanitarium at 962 performances.
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It deserves it. It's so wonderful.
It totally is. It's such a great track on this album. We've got 158 live performances for Disposable Heroes. Leper Messiah coming in at 118. Shockingly, Orion with 68 live performances, a little bit higher than even I expected.
That's that.
It is.
It should be higher.
Yeah. Damage Inc. at 291, and we are only 2 albums away from catching up because we started at Load.
Mm-hmm.
So we're almost there. Here we go. Justice for All. We've got Blackened at 496 and Justice for All at 257.
Long boy.
I have the Beholder at 125. One at 1,498. Whoa.
Good.
Whoa.
Shortest Straw at 98. Harvester of Sorrow at 779. Frayed Ends of Sanity, 12. We've got To Live Is to Die once. They played it for their 30th. Yep. At the Fillmore.
That's such a bang.
Yeah. Dyer's Eve at 35. We are officially at the Black Album, folks, and we are down to the last 12 songs that we haven't talked about live performance totals. Then we can get back on track here. Enter Sandman, 1,349 live performances. Sad but True, 1,326 live performances. They play it just about as much as Sandman. They obviously really enjoy that tune. Holier Than Thou, 87. Nice. The Unforgiven, 496. Wherever I May Roam, 797. Don't Tread on Me, 17. Through the Never, 233. Nothing Else Matters, 1227. Of Wolf and Man, 254. The God That Failed, 101. My Friend of Misery, 18 times. And finally, The Struggle Within, 17 times. And if you would like to know about the other performances, go back to our ranks starting at load and listen on. You'll be able to check out what we're doing as we go through. I might have missed one or two there through the thing, but for the most part, that's all. And let's get back, Brando. Take the reins back away from moi.
All right, so to start off on the second part, they really deviated for the first half of this and decided to do more with the symphony. So the first two tracks are symphony tracks. Like, these are the songs that the conductors wanted to do. The first one is all symphony. It's all right. It's cool. I gave it a 7. You guys can just shoot me a rank real quick if you have nothing to say about it.
I thought the Scythian Suite, Opus 20, second movement, because that's specifically what they played, really isn't rankable because it's so unique to what it is. It's not something Metallica really did anything for. You know, they're just sitting on the sidelines. Well, I just put no rank, but it's badass and heavy as fuck. I mean, if it was ranked, I guess I would just give it like a solid 7.5.
All right.
Because it is unique in its own way.
Well, just if I don't put something there, it kind of messes up the algorithm. So
noted.
So I gotta have something. How about you, Dick? You got something?
7.
7. All right. Yeah.
I listened to it once.
Okay. Yeah.
7.
7.
7.
So here's the thing. Back in grade school, we went and saw the symphony, and it was really cool. But the problem is, she played us songs that had symphony, and this is awesome. Then we went and they played the exact same set list of the tape that she played us. I was really disappointed. I'm I wanted to hear other songs. So hearing that kind of took me back to that. I do like seeing symphony stuff. Symphony is sometimes heavy as shit. So even without being metal, I think symphony was metal before metal. So the next,
Yes,
the next
absolutely.
the next song, Iron Foundry, they actually brought in Metallica. Metallica kind of played the accentuating role. They flipped the roles.
I loved that.
It's all right. It doesn't really do a lot for me. I'll be honest with you. It's cool, but it's not something that I'm going to go back and listen to. So I gave this one a 7 as well. Nate, what'd you give it?
I gave it an 8.5, mainly because it is very unique with what Metallica is doing. You nailed it. It's the role reversal that I enjoyed so much because they are accentuating, and Kirk's he keeps playing that high popping note randomly.
I can see him holding a cat and pulling its tail.
Oh man, but I really did enjoy their performance of the Iron Foundry. Yeah,
it's all right. Yeah, how about you, Dick?
4. No, I did not enjoy this at all.
Oh, okay.
It was very grating on me to listen to this. And I actually, this is probably one of the most recent things I listened to on this because it was one of those songs that got skipped just randomly out of the blue, and I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't heard this yet. I'm gonna, and then I did not like it.
Okay, so was the cat analogy? Did that ring home for you?
Yeah, and I like cats.
All right. How about you, Nick?
I give it a 6.
Yeah, all right.
It wasn't the worst thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I mean,
but it didn't do much for me.
It doesn't do much for me either, but I do like the idea since they're there and they're deciding, instead of doing the exact same thing that they did before, they're taking another risk and just playing around with the formula a little bit. Hey, let's have some fun. Let's do something that these guys want to do. That they're here playing all our shit, so But the next song, the Unforgiven III from Death Magnetic, without any other Metallica members, it's all symphony. And it's even the guitar solo, and it's just James on vocals, not holding a guitar. He's just up there doing vocals. And I got to say, I felt it in the theater. I feel it every time this version of the song, every time I've heard it. James sings his heart out on this because to me, this from what just from reading the lyrics, knowing James' journey, this song has, all the Unforgivens have a big part of his feelings just put into it. But this is his chance to play this song live in front of a lot of people and get it out there. And he really belts it. And I feel the emotion coming from James on this, especially knowing that him coming to terms with his own ailments from before Death Magnetic, going into rehab, coming back out to try and rebuild his life and his family, and to know that he went to rehab again right after S&M2, with us still not knowing 100% the ins and outs of why. I'm sure the band members know, but they're not really like going into detail. And from what I understand, it was James basically being very self-conscious of, I need to go and recenter myself. Whether or not he was slipping off the wagon with substance or whether or not it was other things. Because he's gone on to say that like he feels like we as a society, not only are we addicted to substance, we're addicted to media, we're addicted to news, we're addicted to our cell phones, we're addicted to social media. It's like, so a lot of that can just, I'm not sure if that's what it was, a multiple of things, but you know, you could almost like, knowing that he went to rehab right after this and he was looking forward to this point so much, it might affect my score a little bit, but I gave it a 10 because it's powerful as shit. I'm going to hit it over on to Dick.
This was absolutely wonderful to hear. The performance, just watching the performance was great. It's very different from the album version. So it's just another one of those things where I have to rank it separately altogether. I'm pretty sure I gave the album version a 10. I would have to give this one a 10 as well, just because it's very stripped down. It's very no, I mean, yeah, okay. So I get it. It's its own thing though. It's very stripped down. It's very you feel James's vulnerability, and just knowing how nervous he was going into doing this performance, and you can hear it in his voice. And this is the one time I won't dock that, because he is putting himself way out there in this case, and this version is just wonderful.
What about you, Nick? What do you think?
I do not have a whole lot to add. I don't think I wasn't a big fan of the original version anyway. So I don't really have a whole lot to add.
All right. Are you going to rank it about the same as you rank the album version?
Yep.
7.
Yeah.
Going to 7 that sucker up. How about you, Nate?
So this is where we're going to have a chat, fellas, because this song deserves the 11 that I want to give it. It really does. I mean, like, you can't convince me it deserves anything other than that, mainly because everything that Brandon and both Dick have said, it's the vulnerability of James. It's him knowing the journey he was on. He knew what path he was taking. Getting through S&M2 was like the fucking hitting the checkpoint where he could say, now I can check out for a minute. Now I know I can get myself into rehab, get myself right, whatever that means. None of our business, obviously, but it's a very powerful moment, and it's just him unleashing. It's him really, proverbially speaking, he's slicing his wrists in front of the crowd and bleeding on them to show them how he feels and how real it is, you know?
That's a very visceral description, Nate.
Well, it is, but it's very impactful because yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, the reason I know, I get it, what you're saying. I'm not trying to detract from it.
Sure.
But like, you know, Nick over there, like has a gimmick where he brings out a super soaker full of like rum during Rum Gun Salute, and he squirts rum. So I could just see James slicing his wrist, is like, yeah, motherfucker, bleed, and everyone's like, ah. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's but what I'm saying is that you can't hear that song and think about yourself as just as a person, not even necessarily if you've been in such a dark path or place as he's been, but just as a person in our own travels. You can't listen to that song and not connect on such a powerful way when you go into self-reflection. Sure. I think that's why the song hits for me so hard. And like I said, I know we're going to stick a 10 here, but it is every bit of an 11 as it ever could be. James taking like the ultimate risk as a vocalist. That's really hard to do.
Another risk was them putting a Saint Anger song on this set list, but it's not just Saint Anger. It's the reworked version that they've done for All Within My Hands for their acoustic sets. And they're doing an acoustic song with a symphony And the acoustic version of All Within My Hands, while it's at its core still All Within My Hands, has a different flow, feel. It has snare. It's I really like it. I've fallen in love with this version. And when I first heard it, listening to one of the acoustic things, I'm like, that's different. And that's really cool that they're bringing a song that you can tell at its, like, in the original version, it's long, it gets ugly at the end. Of course, that whole album is ugly. But they're like, it shows you that even with some of their worst material, so to speak, there's some good ideas in there. And if they sit back and work with them, they can turn it into something that's really cool. So that I remember. So I love this version of this song. It's eerie, but it's also another deep song, and it's a cool experiment. So I gave this one a 10 for me personally because it's really changed. Like, I won't listen to the original version ever again. If I'm going to listen to All Within My Hands, it's going to be one of the acoustics or the S&M version because it's a really badass version. But I'll pass it over to Nick. You got anything on this one?
Nope, I sure don't.
No.
I think I might have clocked out this latter end here of the album, but no, I don't think it's one that I particularly liked in the first place. So
no, I'm pretty sure that you didn't. No, you gave it a 5. Is it better than a 5?
Sorry. Actually, yes. It's a little bit better than the original, I would say, just a touch. Again, right? Yeah, the symphony has a little bit to it, but not one that particularly tugs at the heartstrings of my old heart.
I just think it's really neat that instead of just them performing a Say Anger song straight out, they found a different way to do it and make it a little bit more palatable. Because that Saint Anger and the album in itself is so not palatable.
It's just it's just like on the horizon. It's a gas bubble. You're like, I'm not walking over there. I'm not getting near that.
All right. So would you give it like a 6 or something?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Fine. What about you, Dick? We'll go to Dick next.
I like it differently. Okay. I will say I like it a little better than the album version as well. I would have much rather heard Unnamed Feeling.
Yeah, well, I mean, absolutely.
Honest.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I don't got anything else. So what was my score?
6.5.
Let's give it a 6.75. It's not much.
6.75. How about you, Nate?
Brando, you and I share the sentiment of the brilliance of this song reworked. Okay. It is definitely a better song acoustically than it ever was on the album.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I don't see myself going back to listen to that version on Saint Anger. I will say though, I did give this quite a bit of a bump up because of how much I like the acoustic version, so I gave it a 9.75.
Awesome. The next one, Anesthesia Pulling Teeth. It brought out one of the cellists from the symphony, and he played an electric stand-up cello and did a bass solo complete with distortion and wah in the theaters. I popped so hard for this, and it was I did. I was like
Pee Wee Herman.
I did. Yeah, right. Nate was sitting right next to me, and and I mean,
he looked at me and he said, "Oh, it was a spooky ghost." Because there was goo everywhere.
Spooky. Here's the thing.
It was a spooky arrival.
So, speaking of ghosts, I'm not going to get off topic, but my 5-year-old says random ass shit, and I have a whole list of stuff that he says that's just random as shit. I keep track of it, and apparently he said, "Do ghosts die if there's a tornado on Halloween?" He's really been stuck on tornadoes recently, and we don't know why. But anyway,
it's a great science question.
Somebody focused on the tornadoes. Someone's got to keep their eye on them. Glad someone is.
Right now, that's him. But no, I thought this was a great, awesome tribute to Cliff because Cliff was really big into like orchestras. He was really big into Bach and a lot of different composers, and that's something that bringing him here into Anesthesia, it's kind of bringing him into the. Into this realm, saying, "Hey, he was a part of us, and he really dug this. And as I said, I popped hard for it. It's a 10 just simply because of the uniqueness, and that dude killed it. And Lars jumping in with there, so yeah, I give it that. I don't think there's too much to say here. What about you, Nate?
Brilliant interpretation. I thought that cellist killed it. It was awesome. I popped as well. I mean, come on, can't believe they're actually...
We're just in the theater popping, man.
Yeah, it's happening.
That you see us sitting in the theater and the popcorn is just flying through the air. Just...
Man, I was freaking out. It was crazy, but I just because I loved it. It was so. Man, he's a cello player.
The imagery is disgusting.
You see, like, the arm moving. You see the arm moving, and the usher comes by with his little flashlight, and Nate's sitting there with a butane like griller, and me with Jiffy popcorn because we don't want to go out to buy more popcorn. We're popping.
So I can't score this higher than the original. So I gave it the same as I gave the original, which is 9.5. I know I didn't give it a perfect score, and that's maybe to my own detriment, but I digress.
All right. Dick, what do you think?
I thought it was really good. That dude killed it. Just the fact alone that dude was basically probably living a dream in that moment.
Oh,
Not only playing like one of Cliff's masterpieces from the very first album Metallica put out to jamming along with Lars. Like, that's got to be so cool to experience. Other than that, like, I don't really have a connection to this song like you guys do. Again, I'm not a big instrumentalist. The only connection I really have is just the nostalgia that one of my old bass players playing it live before in front of people, and that's about it. So I'll go ahead and give it an 8.
What about you, Nick?
I like it just about as much as I like the original, but I think I like the original a little bit more.
All right. We'll see what you gave the original. I'm going to scroll all the way back up. You gave it a 7.5.
7.25. Let's do that.
7.25. Then they did Wherever I May Roam. That was on the original. I don't think I like it as much as the original, but I might have ranked it the same. Yeah, I gave it a 9. So, yeah, all right, cool. We'll start with Dick. You got anything for this one?
I gave it a 8.5 last time. I think it's going to sit there. It's just a cool jam.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like
awesome. It's cool. I mean,
you can't go wrong with that song.
No, it's badass. And, I mean, the last few songs here are all just revisits anyway.
Yeah.
But, Nick, do you got anything else to add? Is it about the same for you?
About the same, yep.
All right, so you got 6.5. 6.5. The next one is 1. No, wait, Nate. What'd you give it? Sorry, I'm just looking to
Fuck
get done.
me. I guess I don't get to rank this song.
You don't get to rank it. We're moving on.
Should have popped.
Yeah.
Fuck me, I'm the worst.
You're all popped up. You guys already popped your pop.
Yep.
Anyways, same 9.25.
The next song is 1, which I gave a 10 last time.
We all did.
I gave it a 10 here again, but I'm thinking maybe I should knock it down just a tad. I don't know why. I love the intro where Lars and the snare player for the symphony are trading shots back and forth, and they're doing like snare machine gun bullets, which apparently was not planned. There was supposed to be the snare guy doing it, and Lars, because he was antsy, because I mean this was more of a live performance and show, which I mean Anesthesia shows that right there. That was, even though he was doing it and it was more of a jam feeling. Lars went up there and did that, and what they would do is that like Lars would hold his sticks, and the other guy would hit his sticks, and that would hit the snare, giving a different sound. Then they would flop, and the other guy would hold it. So I gave it a 10. Yeah, it's cool. We'll go down the line. Nate, you got anything different?
11, because it gets that extra 1.
All right.
But 10.
Dick.
So I was listening to this, and I'm like, man, I know what this is. I know what this is, but I also wonder if like people that were there experiencing it were like, what is going on? I don't know, because as I'm listening to it, I'm like, I get what they're doing. I get that they're definitely trying to emulate the sounds of war. But I wonder if in that moment anybody knew what was going on. But I don't think this one was as good as the first symphony.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's still excellent because it's one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a 9.5.
9.5. And you, Nick, does it get docked for you? Or?
I like it about as much as I like the original S&M.
All right. I believe we gave that pretty high across the board. Pretty high. Yeah, we did.
Unanimous.
No, the original. It's still not as good as the original.
Yeah.
But
Master of Puppets was next. It was a great rendition. I mean, it's Master of Puppets. I ranked it high. Gave it a 10. How about you, Nick? Oh, he's taking a drink.
I didn't like it. I mean, I don't think I liked the. I definitely didn't like the S&M1, and this one was in the same ballpark. Neither of them hit nearly as close to the original for me. So, yeah, the original recording of Master is probably my favorite. Like, I don't know whether my rankings should probably reflect it, but original recording of Master is probably my favorite ever. Maybe next to Fade to Black, which apparently is not nearly as good as I thought it was, because they made 2 fucking albums without thinking of covering it.
Oh man, that's great. Well, yeah, because you gave on the original album, you gave it a 10, and on S&M, you gave it a 9. So you docked it down just a tad.
Yeah, it's nowhere near. I don't know. I think it's vocal performance. I think that's what I said the first time too. Is the album recording is so fucking awesome that he just doesn't hit it live nearly as well. How can you? You know, it was so good the first time.
All right, so you're just gonna give that one a 9 as well.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. How about you, Dick?
I'm gonna dock it. I gave it a 10 last time. I think it gets docked because and it suffers from track placement. It doesn't hit as hard where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
I
think the reason, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think the reason why they moved it is because over the last 10 years, this song used to be an earlier in the set song, but it's been more viewed as by the fans as a kind of a closer. A lot of times they close with it and they'll come back with an encore or something like that. I think
it definitely suffers from like placement, and it also suffers from like you don't have that element of surprise. Like last time they went right into it and it just fucking like, whoa.
Yeah.
Just like the energy coming off of the previous song just amped it up so much more. I do think the vocal performance on this version is way better. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 9.
All right. And Nate?
I gave this song a 9.75. I think it is a better symphony arrangement, but I don't know that it is better than the first S&M version, which I thought was perfect, and of course the near flawlessness that is on the actual album itself.
All right. Next is Nothing Else Matters. It's a awesome freaking song, great, but so it's like I think I gave it a 10 last time, so I gave it a 10 here. I got nothing to add here. I don't know about you guys. You have anything to add? Broad stroke here.
No.
Okay, so did your ranks change for this?
Mine.
No.
Okay, so
I'm giving it a 10 this time.
10. All right.
Vocal performance was way better than the first.
Okay, and the Nick, you gave this one a 7.5 last time. Does that still hold true to you?
I like this one a little more, I think, actually.
Okay.
So we'll do 8. Do 8 for this one.
All right, awesome. And Nate, you gave this one a 10 last time.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The last song, Sandman. It's Sandman. You can't, it's them cranking out some Sandman because it is what it is. My rank didn't change. It was a 9. If anything changed, speak up and we'll change it.
9.
9 for you.
I thought that there was a different orchestral arrangement, and I liked it just a little bit better. 9.50.
I can't remember. Does he say "fuck you" in?
I don't think so.
I don't think he does. No.
This time, okay.
He has quit saying that. And Nick, was your rank about the same as
Yep.
last time as well?
Yep.
All right, 8.25 was the last one, and that is that is S&M2 ranked. It closes out with Brando ranking this one a 9.4, which I believe it edges out the original because I gave it a 9. And honestly, I think it's because of like songs like Day That Never Comes and Moth into Flame and Unforgiven 3. Like there was more 10s in there for me because of just how they hit. But Nate, so I was a 9.41. Nate was a 9.42. Dick 8.33. Nick 7.76 with a master rank of 8.7. Of course, this is not going into the overall ranks, but also, unfortunately, due to time constraints, none of the song ranks on here were calculated into the extras stuff that I did for the top ranks. And also, if there was a song on the top songs that would have made it onto the list but is a repeat, I didn't put it on there. So sure. So like if there was one that if the S&M version from S&M1 was higher than the original version and so it made the list, I did that. And also there's a couple of ties. There's a couple of ties in here, so technically it's like top 15 kind of, but like it's because I didn't want to sit there and like, well, which one comes first, just because this one came first or that one comes first, so they both get the same number rank. But that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to do we'll go ahead and hit it with the top 10 Metallica covers. We're going to do the covers first.
Nice.
I'm going to hit the covers, and coming in at number 10 with a score of 7 with how this is done, guys. We all give the song ranks, right? You know, so like I give it a 10, Nick gives it a 7, Dick gives it a 4, Nate gives it an 11. So like we end up averaging out those scores, and this is what it is. We the average song score. So coming in at number 10 for the top 10 covers is Die Die My Darling with 7.75. Number 9, Blitzkrieg, 7.87. Number 8, Remember Tomorrow with a score of 8.
Nice.
Coming in at number 7 is a tie with Tuesday's Gone and Stone Cold Crazy both getting an 8.25.
Okay.
Number 6, Whiskey in the Jarro.
Hey.
Whiskey in the Jar coming in at 8.43. I am sorry about that loud noise. I had to crack my window because it was too hot in here.
It's okay. We don't judge you for the loudness.
I have to sit right above my vent and even closed. Like, I'm over here sweating it up.
Roasting.
Yeah, I'm roasting and popping. Anyway, coming in at number 5, Merciful Fate at 8.5. Nice. Number 4, When a Blind Man Cries. That was one of the more newer ones that they've done.
Yeah.
We all dug that.
Hell yeah.
8.68. Of course, that's awesome Deep Purple cover. I love the fact that they covered Deep Purple and that it wasn't one of the songs that's like that everybody learns on guitar first, right? Number 3, the Ronnie Rising medley, 8.93.
Wow, that's impressive.
It was a banger.
It is, man. It's badass. Please note that everybody is always like, man, yeah, Dio's all right. And then when another band covers Dio, they're like, oh, that song's badass. You know?
Holy Diver.
Yeah,
Last in line.
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, all these Rambo tunes that they did for Ronnie Rising medley. Number 2, Turn the Page is number 9. It got a score of 9. And then number 1
was Lover Man.
Absolutely. Yep. So the number 1 ranked Metallica cover was Am I Evil, 9.12.
Badass.
Is that a surprise? Is that a shocker?
Not really.
No.
I mean, dude, all of their Diamond
really
Head
not.
covers are badass anyway. Like you can almost the reason why Diamond Head has any money to note is because Metallica covered their shit. And that's the reason why they've been able to kind of freeform and tour again a little bit, is because more fans, metal fans, oh, Diamond Head, they're the Am I Evil band, or like they're like it's electric, yeah, cool. So now, guys, we're gonna do the bottom 10 Metallica songs.
Woo!
Metallica song ever, according to
Worst of the worst.
Bottom of the barrel. This one was actually kind of like interesting to go through. This one was the hardest one to compile, because I noticed that we have a couple of we have a tier sort of for like our average ranks, and if a song is like, we didn't have too many like really low shit. It's even like some of the bottom stuff is like scraping the bottom of like what would be considered average or a kind of middle ground. But the number 10 for bottom 10 Metallica songs, 2x4 from Load.
I forgot about that song.
With 6. It has a 6. So think about that. It has a 6. 6 above 5. That's
not bad.
Right,
Above
man.
no. It's above no.
Still not good.
Number 9, Murder 1 from Hardwired.
Yeah.
5.93. Again, that's like, see, that's where some of these were hard, is like going through the whole list. Like, okay, so that one's there. I had to keep scrolling up and down the list. Okay, that one doesn't have any 5s. So then I had to go through. So I hope I did this absolutely accurately and went through. Number 8, The Struggle Within from the Black Album. Wait, no. Yeah. No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because there's a couple of withins here that on this list. Struggle Within, Black Album, 5.81. Number 7, Invisible Kid, Never Seen What I Did.
Good.
Got a 5.75. Number 6.
I don't even hate that song.
I don't either, but I mean, it is.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It deserves to be on this list.
Number 6, The Thorn Within, 5.62. That's from Load. That was one of those songs that, for me, I remember that one's just kind of a, okay, we're just doing this Load stuff again here. We've already said that on the Load album, it seemed like there was a clear indicator. After Bleeding Me, it was like the rest of the album was like, well, we got some of these extra songs here. We got a couple of cool ones near the end there, but we got to put
Also
something.
got a bunch of filler here. Enjoy.
Yeah. The next one, number 5, Sweet Amber from Saint Anger, 5.5. I personally really like that song, but it got number 5.
But it is what it is.
Number 4 is a tie. And it is
What
better.
color tie?
Huh?
What color tie?
Flannel.
Well,
Plaid.
it's better than you think.
Oh,
Green and yellow.
So the first, coming in at number 4 in a tie is Better Than You and Bad Seed.
bad.
Ooh.
Coming in with a 5.31. Both are from Reload. See, even my own kids are upset. Like, oh my God, I really liked Bad Seed. How could it be that low? It's like, buddy, you're gonna have to learn. Because coming in at number 3 is Cure.
Ooh, I think I gave the Cure a 3.
Wait. Did I notice my own mess up? Did I? Because I have something else written down here that's not adding up for me. Cure. Live here on the show, I might have had a little flub up. Yeah, I did. I did have a flub up. My bad, fellas.
Prize for us. Oh.
Well, so Cure is not number 3. I am terribly sorry. Poor Twisted Me is at number 3.
Okay.
Because it got a 5.
I accept.
So that's my bad.
What happened to the Cure, though? Where did it go?
Coming in at number 2 is a tie.
Ooh.
Dirty Window and Cure, 4.75.
Wow.
Absolutely terrible.
We had a song from Load score as bad as any song, even on the low tier of Saint Anger. Coming in at number.
They know what they did.
Yeah, they do know what they did. They're very well aware. In fact, they tried to rectify it with the acoustic version of All Within My Hands. If they were to go back personally and acoustify that entire album, I would give it a listen because I think it probably would be better.
I would definitely revisit if
Is it-
if they revisited
How bad it is.
Saint Angular.
honestly, if they completely redid Saint Anger, I'd give it a listen, like modernize it to their sound.
It would definitely give them. They'd have the benefit of hindsight, so they would see what they did. Of
Yes.
course, they don't like going back and like
No.
revisiting stuff because even the
I-
Justice stuff, people are like, "Where's the bass?" And just like the old,
I-
like the old lady on the Wendy's commercials.
Where's the-
Where's that beef? And James like, you know what? It deserves to be there, but if you do a new version where we remix it, it kind of just takes away from the historical aspect of that record. It's like, it's not that I don't agree with you, I just don't agree with you.
It's like I'm gonna erase that.
All right.
There's
delete
fans out
that.
here that say we don't give a shit about the historical value.
Yeah.
Let's just fucking give it to us.
I think I know the number one worst song. Has to be.
Lover, man.
Coming
No.
in at because these are
Yeah,
Metallica
you're right.
songs.
You're right.
Coming in at number 1 is Purify
Oh yeah.
with
Yeah.
with a rank of 2.56. That was
Gee.
an average.
That ranked
Right.
lower than We Did It Again?
Yeah.
Wow. Fucking wow, dude.
So
Wow.
It was heavy.
I gave Purify a 2. Nate gave Purify a 2.75. Dick gave Purify a 2. And Nick gave Purify a 3.5. So Nick rated the song higher than
Wow.
everybody else. Take a drink.
Wow, Nick.
Hey.
we
Am I so gracious? The hardest ranker, and I gave the worst song the best rating.
That's amazing.
Uh,
You're like, this is my
Really
one
thoughtful.
kindness.
my one kindness is poetically justified.
Well, to be fair, I actually didn't rank We Did It Again as far as top songs. So maybe this list should be amended. The reason why I didn't do it is because it was kind of a collaboration type deal.
Sure, fair enough. I didn't know if it was going to get the nod or not.
Well, I realized I should have done it, and that now I'm trying to make excuses as to why I shouldn't have done it. Because I don't want to change the rank. I don't want. So no, it was a collaboration. I got a 3.62. So technically,
Okay.
it would be a number 2. But if that was at number 2, it would bump Cure up one
Everything
spot,
up, yeah.
and I don't want to do that. I don't want to make Cure number 3, even though I thought Cure was number 3.
I thought Cure was a number 2.
It is a number 2, but Cure originally I had written down. See what I did with the bottom songs. I started off with the bottom, and I did Purify, Dirty Window, Cure, and then when I got to 5, I accidentally started like doing the higher tier ends of 5. So the list was reversed. So I'm like, oh crap, I got to move them back around. That's why it got messed up.
No worries.
So when Nick gets back, we are going to do the top 10 Metallica songs and reveal the overall album ranks from bottom to top.
So while we're here real quick, and we got a quick second, just fastly, I just want to say that Justice for All has my favorite album cover from the band.
Okay. Justice for All. Man, I'm going to have to say it's probably going to be Master of Puppets for me. I think it's just it's iconic. The crosses, the reason why I like it's got that they put in multiple things. The crosses for disposable heroes, the puppet hands with the strings going to the crosses. So it's like even though the song is about drug abuse, it's almost like someone else being in charge of you. So it's like this double motif. It's great imagery. How about you, Dick? Do you have a favorite?
Most iconic is definitely Master of Puppets.
Mr. Puppets.
My favorite, however, I'm pretty split between Hardwired and Death Magnetic.
Interesting. Cool. That's awesome. And how about Nick? Do you have a favorite?
Probably Masters, followed right behind by Ride the Lightning.
Lightning's another iconic one for sure.
So my oldest loves the Ride the Lightning cover with that lightning and electric chair, and I cannot find kid wear Metallica shirts with an electric chair on it. I want to get him the Metallica shirt so bad, and all I could find is plain Jane, just the logo and stuff. So there's that.
Just set up a Teespring, dog.
Yeah, right.
And
there you
just
go.
sell yourself your own fucking shirt that you want.
Sell yourself your own shirt. Anyway, now we're going to do the top 10 Metallica songs.
Yeah.
The tippity top, toppity 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 top. There is no song on this list that is below a 9.
Badass.
So coming in at number 10 is Creeping Death, 9.31.
Good.
Coming in at number 9 is Nothing Else Matters from the Black Album, 9.43. Coming in at number 8 is a tie with Call of Ktulu, the S&M version, 9.5. And along with number 8, All Nightmare Long, 9.5 from Death Magnetic.
Wow.
We have at number 7, The Unforgiven, 9.56 from Black Album. Number 6, For Whom the Bell Tolls, S&M1 edition, coming in at 9.62. Number 5, Fade to Black. That was a tie. Oh, man. I messed up again. Brando messed up again trying to put this list together.
Brando.
You slipping, dog! You fucking
Man.
slipping.
Man, so actually, Fade to Black also got a 9.62. Son of a bitch.
I am sick and tired of this podcast disrespecting Fade to Black.
Hey, Fade to Black, it's high, man. It's right there in the middle of the best songs of all time from Metallica. What can I say?
So it should be a 6 or 5.
Technically, that should be at 6, or they should be all bumped up one, and then we should have a new number 10, I guess. But according to this list, number 4, Orion, 9.75. Number 3, The Day That Never Comes from Death Magnetic, 9.81. Number 2, Master of Puppets, 9.93 from Master of Puppets. And number 1 is a tie.
Oh, no.
Oh, and it's a big tie, too, because it's any of our perfect songs.
Yeah.
The only 2 songs in our entire run of beginning to end was 1 and No Leaf Clover.
I knew it.
Very interesting, too, that the 2 songs that we gave perfect scores could not be more different from each other.
Right.
So, if we had to pick right now, which one's better? If we had to break the
that's
tie,
fair.
if we have to break the tie, how are we breaking the tie? I'll go
I know
first.
how to break the tie. I know how to break it.
Okay.
It's easy. Look at S&M performances. They both were performed on S&M 1 and 2. And honestly, 1 is better on S&M 1 and 2 than with No Leaf Clover being better on 1 than it was in 2. We all ranked it lower on 2,
I can agree
which
with
says
that.
something about the song. So I think that 1 holds the test of time. My own opinion.
I
you
actually that holds up well because on S&M 1 we gave both versions perfect scores, and on the S&M 2 I do believe 1 was docked there as well, but not as badly.
No.
Not as badly. It just got knocked down just a tad.
Not to mention, subjectively speaking, 1 is more of a legacy song
It is.
Fact.
in their discography. So
It is. So 1, the best Metallica song of all time. Follow it closely. By No Leaf Clover. Just closely.
I think it's really crazy that setting out and doing all this, the top song ends up being a song that I had never heard until this project. So that's cool to me.
Hell yeah.
What I will say is that what I like about giving both, having 1 and No Leaf Clover be so different from each other, 1 is really Metallica at their apex glory in the 80s of their thrash, heavy metal, play fast, ride fast, solo fast, everything. And No Leaf Clover is like that epitome of more moderate, making it a little bit more radio friendly, taking a step back, more melody, and simplifying the formula.
It's the Joe Biden of Metallica.
You know what I'm saying? Just walk off this motherfucker.
Thank you for that nugget of gold, Nick. That was awesome.
Yeah,
And now,
that's all I got.
well, now I think we've reached the end here with the last thing to do before we ride off into the sunset.
For now, like the Four Horsemen.
Mhm.
The Four Horsemen.
Mm-hmm.
The album's ranked.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way that I can mess this up, guys. So don't worry. Coming in with the lowest rank. You ready for this one?
I don't know.
Saint Anger. 5.
No.
Yeah, right? I know. Such a surprise.
No way.
You know, my kid is so upset about this out there. He is like, I got my diaper changed, and it's worse than Saint Anger. No, it's 5.74 for Saint Anger. Coming in next. Yeah, coming in next is Reload.
That sounds about right.
With 7.06. So there's a clear, there's like a full point up plus a couple. Not much, but just a little bit. Reload 7.06. Coming in next on the rank is Load 7.07. Literally, Load is 1/100 of a point higher than Reload.
An ass hair difference.
It's an ass hair difference. What can I say? Yeah. Coming in next is Kill 'Em All.
Ooh.
With 7.57. After that is Hardwired to Self-Destruct. 7.80.
Nice verbal ellipsis.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Did that for you, Nick.
Well done.
Coming up next, Metallica, the Black Album, 7.98. Now we've reached it, fellas. The top 4 Metallica albums.
The big 4.
The big
Totally.
4. Number 4, Death Magnetic, 8.25. I think that deserves an awesome salute to know that the band, 10 years ago now, 12, made an album that we all thought is high enough to be in their top 4. That's awesome.
Fam,
Just-
13. 13. We're in 2021 now. 13 years. Can you believe that?
Stop. Stop it.
Stop.
I just think that's
This
awesome.
is also the Notebook, by the way. It never made an official appearance on the show, but this is my trusty
That's what
dusty.
it looks like.
Yeah, this is
I
where all my
imagine
notes
like
are.
a full folder with
No, it's
notes
just
here and there.
a bunch of really sloppy fucking handwriting from me.
Yeah, chicken scratches.
That's mine.
So here we are, top 3. Number 3, And Justice for All, 8.31. Number 2, Ride the Lightning, 8.42. And number 1, the album that started this whole podcast series, Master of Puppets, 8.62.
Woo!
And there is all of your Metallica albums ranked.
We did it.
We did.
Wow, guys, we did it.
We ranked them all.
We did. We, in fact, ranked them all. There's no more Metallica to rank for now. But figure we will take this opportunity at the end of this episode to reveal what we are ranking next. Because we haven't officially said on the podcast what we're doing next. This project doesn't end with Metallica ranks. We're going to go further. We're going to go on to other bands and artists. We're going to have a great old time. There's a lot of stuff that we want to do collectively, but also the 4 of us, we're kind of splitting up to do some other stuff, and it's going to be really
Right.
cool.
The fellowship is splitting.
We are going to split, and we're going to do some other stuff, and I think it's going to be awesome because it's going to give different flavor and different unique takes. So as we said before, Rank 'Em All is a collaborative podcast. It doesn't have to just be us 4 all the time, but we will probably reconvene at some point with some other cool major bands down the line. We don't know when that will be, but Nick and Dick, you guys are going to be doing another band coming up very shortly. Do you want to tell our listeners about that?
Take it away.
Dick and I are going to be doing Between the Buried and Me next. Started off as more of a hardcore band, got into metalcore, got into prog rock, got into prog metal. So we're gonna be all over the place with that one. I think they've got 8 or 9 albums, so we're gonna have our plates full with that one.
Yep.
See, and that's really cool too, because since they have so many different variations of the same band, kind of doing some different genre hopping, it's going to be interesting to see how you guys go from one album to another to say, I liked this one more, or I like this genre more. You know what? I didn't think I even liked that genre, but they did it and it worked, and I'm digging it. You know, that's what's really cool about music too, is that when a band does something like that, like experiments with another genre, sometimes that can light a spark into finding other bands in that genre that you never would have listened to, but you just needed that one band, that one little toe in the water to open up that floodgate. And that's just the amazing gift of music. And we hope that you all are enjoying that gift of music with us as well. Nate and I, we are veering off to another path in the fork in the road, and we are going further back just a little bit to another really iconic band in the history of rock and roll.
One
Nate,
that has a lot of licks in the history of their band, a lot of iterations, a lot of music, a lot to discuss, a whole lot of loving with that amazing Van Halen goodness. I'm so stoked for.
Yeah, I am too. I grew up on Van Halen, and my dad, I've got some stories there about the early days of Van Halen, but the cool thing about Van Halen, and that really lends itself to the formula of what we're doing, there's like two different distinct eras of Van Halen. Of course, Van Halen, Van Hagar, Sammy Hagar being the front man. He has a few more albums with the band, and so I haven't dived deep into any of those albums. I know a few songs from Hagar era, but it's like even though they're the same band, they're technically, it's almost like Black Sabbath when Dio joined. It became a different band. And so it's going to be really interesting to go in through to see what era I really do like more, because I do like Sammy as a frontman. But do I like those songs more than I do like the Roth era? That's going to be interesting to find out. And we are going to be bringing that to you coming down the line. We hope that you'll join us for Between the Buried and Me and Van Halen. And then, of course, all the other stuff we've got coming at you throughout the year here on Rank 'Em All.
And make sure that you don't forget to go back. And if you're just finding Rank 'Em All,
Mm-hmm.
Metallica, you're a big Metallica fan. We kind of just spoiled all the shit, but we said a lot about all these songs and a lot of conversations and shit. Go back to Kill 'Em All. Start at the beginning. Find yourself back here at the end. It'll be a beautiful journey for you that I'm sure you folks can not only listen to, but you can watch. I love the future.
I know. You know what? It has been such a great time to sit down with you guys and just dive deep into some of this awesome Metallica stuff, have some great conversations. And what was really cool is just getting, again, to share the love of music with you guys, because Metallica is one of my favorite bands of all time. But to sit there and dissect it, sometimes you find stuff you liked or you don't like. And to be able to sit down with Dick and Nick, there's some stuff they've never heard before, but now they can say they've at least heard it. And there's a few nuggets in there that they discovered that, hey, you know what? I didn't know this was here, but now I'm glad I knew.
Yeah, dude. Like, originally, when my initial thought was, I want to go back and listen to Master of Puppets. My taste in music has changed in the last 15 years. Maybe my thoughts on that have changed. And to not only see Master of Puppets become the top album of this whole thing, but to also know that there are so many songs throughout that I've now added to my favorites playlist of Metallica. I find myself constantly wanting, like, after we got past these songs and started going into Garage and everything after that, I constantly found myself wanting to go back to the nuggets that were on Load and Reload. Like, I love Bleeding Me. I love Outlaw Torn and Until It Sleeps. Like, I continuously want to listen to those songs. So I found a new part of Metallica that I love.
Hell yeah. And that's awesome, because that's something that, growing up, my buddy Jason, he found that Load era, and that became his favorite era. We had the Black Album, and at that point we had like the 80s stuff, which is awesome. We still blared it, we still jammed to it and headbanged.
I really never want to listen to the Black Album ever again. No, that's a lie. But some of those songs were my favorites, and now they're not even close to my favorite.
Well, and that's the awesome gift that we have with music and stuff like this. And we hope that you'll join us and you'll listen along with all this great other bands and discographies and albums that we're going to do. Listen along with us. Give us your ranks. We want to hear what you guys will think stuff ranks. Comment down below or hit us up on social media. We're there. You can check us out at Rank 'Em All .rocks. You can also download the podcast on podcast services all around the globe, and we're on YouTube as well with a great video version. And we're going to be on social medias as well. Hit us up on all that stuff. Does anybody have anything to say in closing before we head on out of here?
I just want to thank you three dudes for doing this. This has been a really fucking awesome experience. I know we trekked over many months to get here and are totally, honestly, probably all slightly different people than when we started this. To be here right now with you dudes is a really cool accomplishment that no one can take away from us, man. We literally have went through the trenches with this band, and I can't wait to see what the Between the Buried and Me stuff looks like. I can't wait to see how the Van Halen stuff turns out. Projects in the future. I know that Dick and I have some plans with some artists that we want to personally get into.
I'm gonna take a break for a while after Between the Buried and Me, but I've got like 3 or 4 bands that I'm wanting to do.
Hell yeah.
Same. So, and I know that holds true for all of us. So I'm just, again, grateful to be a part of this with you dudes, and thanks to everybody who checked it out and listened. And keep watching, see where we go from here.
All right. Well, if nobody has anything else to add, this is your opportunity to stand up, speak up. Going once, going twice, and Nick? No. Nick said his piece on the last episode, man. He definitely did. No, I share all Nate's sentiments as well. Thank you all 3 of you guys for sitting down and joining me on this ride. It's been a great ride to get this and now to be able to finally be done with it and say that we did this journey. But
and to start releasing these some bitches.
Yeah, to get them all out there. We're gonna be released. Yeah, absolutely. Of course, by this time you're like, "Whoa, they've been released." Yeah, I know. But until next time, guys. Until the next time you hear us, in whatever fashion you hear us, whatever band we're doing next, we invite you to come and listen along with us. For Nate Phillips, for Dick Tyner, for Nick Maxon, I've been Brando, and on to the dead of night, we the Four Horsemen ride. So choose your ranking. Bye for now.